What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing swell. Welcome to a Malazing game. Now, that could be spoilers, but maybe I meant to say something with Mayans. Okay, welcome to a 1v1, and this is a really unique one. I really like to have games where a player utilizes bonuses of a civ. That's simple enough. But also where the bonuses of a civilization match the situation in a game. And I'm going to get there. I'm going to talk about why or not. I'm going to talk about what I mean specifically with this match, but to the players first. We have Blade in the red. Blade, a 2K player. Profile says he's from the UK. Absolutely despise playing Blade, I'll be honest. Always picks Mayans and never goes random civ. Or maybe not never, it's probably happened, but at least in my experience, a lot of Mayans can kind of have a heavy lame approach, very crazy build orders when it comes to fast castling. Now, normally if I don't like to play a player, it is because they are successful, and Blade is definitely successful. And you can already see Blade has come over here to try and steal something. It's a frustrating type of style to play against. Mayans being one of the best civs, so that combined with all the RNG that laming introduces leads to some pretty interesting situations. Now, here we have Survivalist, who's a player who's been seeing more and more limelight recently, and Survivalist is a player from Canada who, over the course of DE, has improved his level. And one thing that's unique about him is that he's not as suited towards the random Civ Arabia style. What he likes to do is he likes to pick a Civ and practice it to death and then kind of move on past that. So basically he tries to figure out those time windows, tries to figure out where civilizations work in certain situations. And while I think that can lead to some weaknesses in some matchups, because he's going to have good knowledge of this civilization, for example, or Byzantines, which he likes in the past, but not all the civs. What it does do is I think it enhances his ability to play a civ well, right? And recently it's been Malay, and big fan of going for various things. For a week straight was a lot of tower rush with Malay. Now, what I like about Malay, and this is the big bonus I want to talk about now, is they advance 66% faster to the next age. And so when you advance to an age, what happens is this TC, it's not producing any villagers throughout that time. It's not getting any upgrades or anything, right? And so if you spend less time researching the next age, you get back to producing villagers that much faster. So it's essentially a 3 villager bonus when you're advancing through each age. So, for example, if they were to both go fast castle right now, I guess this is a little confusing with the fact that it's Mayans, because Mayans start with one more vill. Let's pretend it's any civ but Mayans or Chinese. You're going to have a 6 villager lead with Malay just because you got to producing villagers that much faster. So keep that in mind. That is the one thing that I think will be relevant here.
Shot it.
Blade. Walled a little bit on this right side. Has added a barracks here. And there is one part of survivalist play that could also hurt. Maybe if you tower rush with Malay 3 weeks in a row, people on the ladder, they're going to know. They're going to know. If you're streaming it, they're going to see it. You kind of got an idea. So if I was up against Survivalist, I would kind of expect some type of forward aggression possibly. But the thing is, fast feudal with Malay on 20 pop is ridiculously fast. As we see Loom on the way for Survivalist. And you see 5 villagers running forward. This is not going to have the eco behind it to make a barracks. This is not going to have the eco behind it to do much more. And just drop a few towers and hope it does damage here. And then we'll have more things to talk about with Malay. But for Blade, you look at his scouting. He's going to be fully protected. Well, not quite yet, but almost protected on the backside. Every time I play Blade with Malay, or Mayans, excuse me, he's always going for Drush full wall FC. And he really likes his Eagle long swordsman at time builds too. Everything I'm seeing here from Blade, pretty consistent with what I've seen over the years from him. Now, Survivalist hits Feudal Age. Notice Blade's reaction to that. He's like, wait, what? Wait a second. Now, it's hard. Like game sense is a real thing. I think that for Blade, there's some part of him who knew that this was always going to be a tower rush. I think it just comes back to the fact that Survivalist does stream a lot, and people are always watching streams when they're not playing. And then also the fact that this uptime with Malay, this is the only thing that makes sense. And so for Survivalist, he's now been spotted. So this is an awkward moment for him. You have no military. You're now up against Militia and an Eagle. This isn't a nice spot to be in. Villagers aren't collecting resources either. So you're mining stone that you can't really utilize. I guess the Scout can be helpful, right? The Scout does have the Feudal Age speed, the Feudal Age attack. How committed is Survivalist to this? Because Blade is switching out a little bit of just that free Militia rush. What Blade's going to do is Blade's going to add more. Continuing to make Militia, because he knows what's up. He knows this guy's not going to make military. He knows that he's on gold. Why not? And I actually really like the addition of the additional Militia. The additional Militia were so good here. If it was just 3, maybe 1 or 2 villagers die, and that's it. But this whole Vill army is going to have to micro. It's so much more difficult to micro villagers than it is to micro the Militia and the Eagle. And you're going to see these villagers go down now for Survivalist, which really is just, it's brutal for him. The Eco's not looking smooth back at home. And now you've got the Militia to deal with. And for Survivalists, you've got some walls. Look at this, man. You've got 3 on farms. Eco looks horrible. And so this brings me back to what I said at the start of this. This is what makes Malay so interesting, because the fact that you, as Survivalist, tries to save the villager and fails, is the fact that you spend a lot less time researching and teching up to that next age. Now, this is quite possibly overkill for Blade. Survivalist really trying to quick wall in the villager, and that's just never going to work there. We have 7 Militia on the field, and that's going to mean that Blade has spent a lot to kill those villagers. But I think it's always worth it when you kill 4 vills. Always worth it when you kill 4 vills. Survivalist, starting to mix in some farms, has done the right thing to pull off of stone. And you've got some decisions to make now if you're Survivalist. I think with how your food eco would be looking, if you tried to add a barracks, which is 175 wood, and then tried to add an archer range, then tried to go to gold to get archers, I don't think it would make sense to do that. Just like it was a YOLO tower rush, I think it's a YOLO decision now to just try and turn this into some type of a decent castle age time. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have Militia knocking on the door. You have to be playing at a high level to be able to pull off this defense against all of this, because it's easy to make mistakes. But I think that's the play. And that's exactly what Survivalist is doing here. So this is the correct call. Now, also, this is super cheeky. This villager walked out across the map and ran into a lion, apparently. You can see the manes there. Don't ask me why the mane lasts longer than everything else. And, uh-oh! Survivalist! Quick wall! Oh, Blade's blocking it. Blade's blocking it. No! Oh, no, he didn't block it. The palisade got hit. Calculated. But yeah, that's a cheeky tower. It'll be walled in as well. And so for Blade, this eco's looking pretty good to use the wood to make a market and a blacksmith and go up to the next stage. But if your one wood line gets denied, you have to make a new lumber camp. To be honest, it's probably going to... Survivalist is trying to be so cheeky here with these walls. Survivalist. You're Survivalist. You're not Viper. What do you... You already lost villagers. What are you doing here? Militia over here, probably distracted. But yeah, fortunately for Blade, this lumber camp looked awful at this point. And then Blade... What is that? Place it up against the wood line. Please. Okay, thank you. I was about to say I lose to this player. When he placed the lumber camp. Yeah, this is going to be a lot better. First lumber camp wasn't too bad. But, you know, he's going to chop through that one layer pretty quickly, and then that would lead a gap like this. So, that's the way to do it. All right, so Blade has killed 4 villagers in this game. Has military here. And this has been my experience when playing against the player. Doesn't go into archers too frequently. Likes to send a lot of villagers to gold, add the barracks, and then add eagles. And it actually works out really well here, because if you get infantry upgrades, and maybe you want to get attack first here, I don't know. If you get infantry upgrades right now, it actually applies to these militia. Survivalist is thinking, how can I bail myself out of this rough position? We'll probably be much later to the castle age now. I don't have any military. And making archer ranges, all that stuff's going to put you behind. Stable, maybe it's going to put you behind. But what Survivalist is going to do is think about that stone again. You can see the villagers are already here. And this is the power of Malay for you guys. That castle age time is not going to be too far off. Advancing faster to the next age will even out the vill counts as we see these villagers make a run for it. Even out the vill counts. And also put Survivalists in an okay-ish position if a castle goes up. Now, it's just so fascinating to me because this Karambit warrior is not something you see too frequently. By the way, these idle villagers makes me want to scream Survivalist sorted out. But I guess the quick walling is certainly priority. And the Karambit warrior is really cheap. They take up half population space. You can actually see them right here. They do have big daggers, but they only do 7 damage. So it's not the strongest unit ever. But it is a unit that in mass is, I think, underrated at a high level. And then also very strong against infantry. Again, every time I played Blade, he's gone Eagles. But one thing I failed to mention maybe is that he always goes all in siege push. Not always. He's a boomer at times, but it just makes sense here. You've killed villagers from the enemy. Going for the kill here. Eagle, add siege, hit the gold, hit the TC. It just feels so natural. This game is very fitting to the name of Survivalist 2, to be honest. It's not a great sign as a player if you fall behind and you have to survive those weak things. But it is also what kind of makes Survivalist a little bit.
Yeah.
Granted, he doesn't always lose 4 villagers in Dark Age, or I guess it was feudal, but finding unique ways to get out of tough situations is maybe his MO now. And really, it's been the market abuse too. So enemy has 14 military, Survivalist has 0. And there's the castle now, so that means the siege, not very helpful with pushing the TC. But now you've got some crazy diving here from Blade, and Blade's saying, well, you don't have anything right now. I've got to do damage to you. Beautiful survival mode from Survivalist, but uh-oh. Now you see the Siege Workshop. Oh! Villager number 5 going down, and immediate reaction to get off the gold. Okay, so let's talk about stats. Eagle, 7 base attack. Karambit, 7 base attack. Eagle, 55 HP. Karambit, 30 HP. Eagles cost a lot of gold. Karambits, I think, are 25 food, 15 gold, so not too expensive there. And Survivalist is having some problems, I think, with multitasking as another villager. Actually, I thought one was going to go down, but no. Yes, 6 villagers down. But 6 villagers down with another civ means you're way behind. That's just the difference. That's that benefit you get for advancing to the next stage a little bit faster. Survivalist buying food, just trying to get more and more Karambits out. You're going to see lots of vital TC time for both players as they focus on aggression in this game. Those are the types of games I like to watch, honestly. I like to see the all-in aggression games. We now have how many Karambits? 18. So can I... Does it let me do it this way? Oh, Capture Age does. Look at the HP there. Eliminate the siege from that. It's pretty close. Yeah, you got to think about upgrades. There's a lot more upgrades for Blade. Plus the siege is going to help. I feel like that pass-through damage with the Scorpions is always going to be good here. And Survivalist is just... I mean, that TC is barely working right now. Two Karambits over here, though, as a distraction, going after the Vill. Something that Blade spotted. I've died to these types of YOLO all-ins pretty frequently. There was a period there where Blade had my number until I feel like I figured him out a little bit. Little pincer move, little 3-army maneuver from Survivalist, and he took the bulk of the Eagles away, chasing these Karambits, and he says, thank you, buddy. That was really good work with the Karambits.
Yep.
Guys, I have uploaded a lot of videos to my YouTube channel. There are not many with Karambit warriors in the Castle Age. It's not a unit you normally see in the Castle Age. Is it possible that people have been underusing them? Now, Blade's immediate choice, second TC. Makes sense, right? Your aggression kind of failed. Now you've got to get the Vill count going. For Survivalist, Second TC as well. After a big fight like that, it makes sense. He's also kind of cautious here. I think he's expecting that army to be sneaking around here. And that sneaking around indeed. As we see a house, it looks like that bill will go down, sadly, but good reaction there as we see this. And it looks like the Karambit should do pretty well there. You know what? We should look at the value. That's interesting to me. Look at the value there. So there's 24 military units versus 15. 960 resources at 37% gold cost for Karambits. 1,200 value at 66% gold cost for Eagles. Now, granted, I mean, these things are, you have to look at HP because these things are rather tiny. But I feel like when compared to an Eagle, 55 HP versus 30, well, I mean, it feels like a big difference there, but it's not like it's a knight out there for Blade, right? And so Blade's thinking, well, what do I do to counter these things? I think you could go archers. Archers with mines would make a lot of sense here, but it also doesn't help when you've already invested into infantry upgrades. So I think it's funny how we have a red house next to a blue house. It's like everyone can live here. This is an all-inclusive gated community. So I think the line of thinking here from Blade, and he does this a lot with Mayans, is I'm already getting infantry upgrades on Eagles. If they make infantry to counter my infantry, I'll just mix in longswords. What's really weird about it is, and it's actually infuriating when it works, is that long term, the Mayans do not get championed. So it always feels a little weird. You know, these Karambits are speedy little dudes. They're like termites, man. Constantly. I actually don't know why I said termite. Because they're small and annoying? Maybe that's it. Could also be fly. Could also be a gnat. Could be any small insect, really. It's definitely not your mom. Because we know she's not small. Oh! Okay, Karambit's running away. As are all my viewers. 32 army versus 14. 56 eco for Blade. Who is on 3 TCs. And it has better food eco right now, but the big thing I want you to focus on is the stone. So let's look at how this game's going to develop. You've got this hill. You've got this gold to talk about. As for Blade, honestly, if you were to fully stonewall his base, he's got everything in the back. But this hill here would be such a good position for Blade if he can get a castle up. Or you could say, as we see an engagement here in the middle and a few Karambits go down, we could see you control one gold with a castle and the other one with army. So actually a castle here, he doesn't have this scouted, would be epic. And then I guess you can't really control the military here, which makes it kind of awkward. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is here is you got a player on stone. And actually, I completely missed this. I'm sorry. This is an important moment. I was too busy talking positioning. Blade was thinking about that as well. And Survivalist, who researched arson, is using Karambit warriors to try and take out the barracks. Is the barracks going to go down? I wonder, is the barracks actually going to go down? It will. Now, this starts to take some pressure off of Survivalist a little bit. And these pesky little gnats, they get into the eco, and for the first time, Survivalist is getting some decent villager kills. Yeah. Also can run around and just keep the red away from his base. Interesting farm placement there for Blade. But the Karambit warriors will die in this fight. Right? The long swordsmen are a much stronger unit. Double the HP, higher base attack. Just a better unit overall as we see more Karambits around. But Survivalist has got to make sure he doesn't fall too far behind in eco or military numbers here. Because a while ago, he had more military. He dove in for Vil kills. Now it kind of looks like these all could disappear pretty quickly. It's 187 HP. That's like 3 knights. Yet there's 12 units. And now this is the moment. Okay, so at this point, Blade figures I can deal with this. He actually kept a lot at home, probably because of the mobility of the Karambits. So he thinks he can deal with that. He loses a farm foundation. Here comes Blade. Now, I may have spoiled this possibility, but he's going to drop a castle right there. And that's just into the line of sight for Survivalist. But at a point where he's probably microing this, and he's probably going to realize a little late, right? So he realizes a little late, but Blade doesn't actually have anything there to protect his villagers. He killed that group of Karambits. Now he's got to get his infantry over here, but the Karambits are already getting some vill kills. And this is a little sloppy from Blade. I think if these villagers come over here to build another house, and they don't immediately commit to the castle, those Karambits go down. The castle goes up right away, but there's only 2 villagers there. And more villagers are going to have to come, and that hands Survivalist an eco lead. And I know that's an eco lead. You guys have watched a lot of games. That's an eco lead where you're just like, yep, that's it. GG, he threw. Oh, man, are you so wrong. See, the thing is, Survivalist, he likes to make life difficult. He's got enough stone for a castle. And he could just drop it here. Protect his golds. Pull away from this gold. Go build farms back there. You're fine. But now he's like, you know what I want to do? I want to steal your idea. I want to build a castle there too. And now he doesn't have the military. He doesn't have the military. So I don't agree with this call, honestly. Maybe he's worried the enemy's going to go up to Imperial. But I think when the enemy's making eagles and longswords, this isn't good. Also, thank you to the person who just subbed to my stream while I'm offline. You're a legend. Survivalist who just killed a bunch of villagers building a castle. Now loses a bunch of villagers building a castle. And now this is going to be freaking insane. Now, both players are kind of committed here. And as that is just the weirdest thing, you've got this Karambit, like, climbed up on the step, and he's, like, trying to take out the... I don't know what to explain what's going on there, but that just looks really freaking funny. Yeah, both players are making petards, or thinking about making petards. We see petards from Blade. The longswords are in here. There's villagers in here. The idle time is higher for Survivalist, as we see villagers and also longswords hop out. Both players are also adding rams, but both players also have infantry, as we see a petard hit the ram. It's very hard to see why neither player has researched fletching yet. Granted, yeah, game's a little stressful right now. I can understand. But fletching, even Bodkin, would really help. Now look at this. Blade goes over here to take out the ram. And he's trying to make another castle here. But he also just double-clicked these villagers to go for repairs because he knows that's important. The villagers are dying here. And now, Survivalist is like, well, wait a second. I see villagers. I want to get villager kills here. And now we're going to see that. But then he throws away all of his army again, which means he might not be able to take out the castle. Which means he might lose all the position. He's still got eagles over here to look at. It's just such a ridiculous game. It's a funny one, man. And the thing about Mayans is, if they have their castles in this situation, they're always going to go plumes. Which would be so strong against the Karambits. I think especially with a mix of longswords. What a wild game here. So, I prefer Blade's position with the castle. But Survivalist has the better situation as far as the unique unit goes. The Plumed Archer would be good long-term for Mayans. Petard gonna go down. Oh, Petard will hit. Oh, it didn't hit. Nice job, Survivalist. Yeah, the thing is, Plumes need upgrades, which the first one's coming in now. And I don't think this is really a climate where Plumed Archers are going to be able to be massed too easily. Survivalist has good infantry upgrades already. And so he's hopefully going to mass his Karambit Warriors here. But I mean, it's just a crazy game. He has so many Karambits. Now, the thing is, he's also not producing Vills throughout this. So he gained the Vill lead. And he's gone full queue with Karambits. Closing in on 50 of them. And so his TCs have been pretty idle here or there. Has resulted in the TC idle. But it makes sense when you've got a castle on your face, or 2 castles on your face, it kind of makes sense. They might want to do that. Now, this is a really funny moment in the game. Without Bodkin Arrow, this castle can't range the Karambits if they're on this side. And Arson does help, as we saw earlier, infantry destroy buildings. So Survivalist says, okay, why did I even make rams before? We'll just use the Karambits. And then here, if he goes with the patrol in and just attacks the longsword. Actually, his castle's doing that. Yeah, his castle takes care of the rest. So I don't know if the response from Survivalist to make his own castle was really ideal. Hard position to give up. He didn't want to give it up, but I think maybe doing that and making your castle on the right would have saved you some heartache here. Because he did have the villager lead, but in the end, 2 castles for the Karambit man. And it's about to be 0 for Blade, who's trying to make the plumes. But I'm sorry, 4 or 5 plumed archers is going to do nothing against the 50 Karambit warriors. I remember when this unit came out, it was so cool. I remember in arena tournaments, we saw mass Karambits. There have been buffs, there have been nerfs. People haven't gotten hugely excited about Malay for a long time. And I'm just happy to see this unit. We saw one dancing on the stairs earlier. Their attack animation is actually freaking hilarious. I mean, it's one of the more unique ones. And Rams and Karambits are just everywhere. And it's now Blade's thinking, well, what in the world do I do? And Blade's got 24 on stone. So Panic Defensive Castle placed here next to the Golden Stone. Then we're going to see Longswords come out. And I just don't think the numbers are on Blade's side at the moment. And the eco's certainly better for Survivalists now. Having killed more villagers. Plus, he's got castles. This next castle should be over here. That'd be perfect. Or if you really want to control the hill, maybe there. He doesn't really seem too concerned. Survivalist just looks like he's having a good time at this point. 60 military, army value under 3,000. And they're not expensive on gold either. So imagine combining Karambits, which isn't expensive on gold, with two-handed swordsmen, which don't cost gold with play. Granted, something like full paladin would work well against that, maybe, but then if the enemy, then just mix in the pointy boys. Malay are really interesting civilization, and that's even before you incorporate the water aspects of their play. Survivalists, like, I'm such a boomer, so at this point, I'm prioritizing all my TCs producing. I have like 10 bills in queue. Like, whatever. Let's finish this game. Loading up Karambit Warriors into the Rams, which is a really nice play. They do move faster and attack a little bit faster with infantry inside them. I think it's just infantry. I don't know if it's all units, actually. I don't know if putting an archer in there benefits that. It's the first time I had that thought, actually. Oh, he's going to take this gold. That's funny. Okay, and here's the fight, guys. And trying to get the Rams out of the picture here. It looks like the HP is pretty similar, but you will have more units attacking if you're survivors. Yeah. I mean, he's going in there just to take out the TC. He figures, even if he ends up losing all of his units, he's going to damage the enemy's eco. His eco's untouched at home. And this Karambit spam is insane. It's Castle Age Karambit spam. Another castle's going up in the position I mentioned. Not a bad hill to castle, not at all. There's certainly no worry you're going to get hit on those exposed golds now, right? Because you're the one being aggressive. Villagers are not going to be able to fight back against the Karambit warriors. The longswords are going to disappear. And Blade is just stunned. Killed 4 villagers in Dark Age. And then with Mayans, loses the game. I think there's a lot there that could have been better for both players. I think that Survivalist could have been cleaner in many ways, and so could have Blade. But the thing that was interesting about this game was how Survivalist was able to bail himself out of that rough position. And I think you go fast feudal with Tower Rush with nothing behind it with any other civ, and you're dead here. Losing 4 villagers like that, you're dead. But being able to bail yourself out with the faster uptime is huge. Lost 4 villagers in Dark Age. Castle time of 1922. After having to wall, after having to deal with Militia, that's the power of Malay right there. And then the Karambit Warriors, not too shabby, huh? Now, granted, I've died to a mix of it before. Mayan Longsword, maybe not the way to go. Maybe you should take advantage of the fact your archers are cheaper Blade. Maybe you should go archers with longswords or archers with eagles. But, wow. Army high was 83 near the end there. And it only take up half a population space. You could have 400 of those puppies if you deleted all your eco and had the resources to make it. So you know me. I'm always out there trying to find unique games to bring to you guys, whether that's with unique players and personalities or just unique development of a game. Age of Empires is unique, and I'm always able to find something different, thankfully. So let me know what you think about this one, because it was one of my more unique uploads. You don't see Karambits too frequently, and I know that deep down there's a lot of people out there who really wish Malay got more love. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the continuous support over the last 6 years, guys. You know, I like all of you, I have tough days, I have tough weeks, I have tough months, and this month has been real brutal for me, man. There's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stress, a a lot of things to work on, and to always have a community to fall back to always be able to work my frustrations and stress out with content is so cool. So I love you all. Appreciate you so much. And I'll see you soon.